I've never heard that, but that's the origin of CAP. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look.
There's a principle that
Right.
we have to follow.
Yeah.
We have to have.
Be true to yourself. You don't have.
And when I came back, the place was a mess. So I knew I was missed.
Deep in here now. Now
It's
deep.
incredible. I love it.
Me
That's
too.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And applying the recovery, I thought. Okay.
Hey everyone, Honesty Liller here. I am the CEO of the McShin Foundation, Woman in Recovery for almost 19 years in May. I'll have 19 years. Hallelujah. What a miracle that will be. I have a beautiful guest, one of my awesome friends, Caroline Beidler here in the house. She has been here before, but we wanted to host you again. You're in town. She's not from here, but I'm going to tell you just a couple things. Huge hearts this woman has for those that are in recovery and family members being affected by substance use disorder, and just the women movement in recovery. She is one of the top leaders in our field around the country. So I just want to thank you as a women leader in this space and just a women leader in general. You are an amazing individual, and I'm so appreciative of our friendship. You can keep it. Our friendship. Our friendship. So thank you for that. So Carolyn, she wrote another book, and we're here to talk about that and just life. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, and then I'll ask some questions, and we'll dive right in.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, it's so nice to be with you. We've had such a nice time already today. I'm Caroline Beidler, and I just have to say thank you for getting my name right.
Oh yeah.
It's always a little bit humbling when you start chatting with someone and they say it wrong, but it's okay. I think we need that sometimes. But yeah, we've known each other for a while, and I think I started following you online. Gosh, like Anonymous People days. I don't know. Is it 20 years now? Almost, maybe 15. And have met you over the years in different places, and over the past really 5 years gotten more connected over women's recovery leadership. And I've just been so grateful for that. And I am an author.
Yay.
I'm a recovery advocate. I am also now the managing editor of recovery.com, which I love, which is a place where folks can find mental health and addiction treatment. And I just care so much about recovery. And I was joking with a friend the other day. I just can't stop talking about it. I'm writing about it. I went through a period of time in my early recovery, and I have 15 years now. So I was I think 4 months in recovery and was mentoring a woman, and she ended up passing away from overdose. Her name was Alex. And I remember when I heard about her death, I was, I think, working at a summer camp. I used to take care of kiddos in summer camps, and kind of locked myself in this bathroom. It was one of those very visceral moments. And I was crying. I locked myself into this bathroom, and I just had this moment, Honesty, where I knew that I was going to spend the rest of my life fighting for Alex and advocating. And I started this journey of, again, very early on in my journey, of building things that I saw a need for. So I started with women's recovery housing in Wisconsin, and built a trauma-informed model for support for women there. It was called Connect House. And then I went back to get my master's in social work. I wanted to be equipped to provide different types of support for women, and ended up building a collegiate recovery program there. And so I just started building things, and I connected with Flo Hilliard, who was one of the old OG recovery advocates.
Yeah.
Amazing woman. And she took me under her wing and told me and taught me about the power of advocacy. And when we share our stories of recovery, not just how healing it is for ourselves, but for how healing it can be for communities. I started to get really into the research and things like that around stigma reduction. And it was one of those light bulb moments where I realized, wow, when we share our stories, not only do we start to kind of heal ourselves and be able to reconcile these experiences of pain that we've been through for a purpose, but we also are able to help people not feel as alone, and not feeling as alone will lead to them reaching out for support and treatment. And the more I read about the research, it was like, wow, I want to do that. I want to be involved in that. And I want to learn how to do that better. And so, here we are. Like, I'm in my mid 40s now. I was a young person in recovery. Now I'm I don't know what, middle-aged woman in recovery, grateful. And I just want to keep doing that. I want to keep sharing stories. I want to keep building things that are needed. I want to keep fighting for Alex and for women like me who are seeking recovery, who are seeking a better way to live, who are seeking wholeness and healing. And I'm grateful to be able to show up to do that today, one day at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. And like seeing like our tragedies or the trauma that we go through in our lives, and we're hope dealers, right? We take those traumas, we ball them up, we feel them, and Alex will never leave you. I've had so many people in my life that have passed on. Yeah. So it's a tough business to be in, even in Recovery rocks and it's beautiful and we see all the good stuff that happens. It's very hard because we're so empathetic and have big hearts and all of that. And like, we want to just keep helping. But a big part also for like my recovery is like soul care and like, how do I take care of myself? And like writing is one of them. I wrote a book, gosh, it feels like 10 years ago, Scattered Pink. I think it's on Amazon still. I don't ever talk about my book anymore. Wherever you buy books. Yeah, so it's awesome. I would love someone to make a movie out of it. Hey, Drew Barrymore would be my person. Awesome. Or Kate Hudson. I do love her. But so yeah, and then it's like, but also we have to take care of ourselves. So I know you, like Caroline, she's a super, super duper writer and she edits for recovery.com and all of that too. So how does that help with your soul care, like getting the message? And if you want to talk about the book and what that's all about too.
Oh, I love that so much. And I would love to see Scatter Pink in theaters. I'm just going to say that now. For me, writing has been a huge part of my recovery.
Same.
And I was actually just working on, I have a Substack called Circle of Chairs where I send out weekly letters, and I'm working on a piece right now called Writing Recovery.
Oh, wow.
And it really kind of has led me down this kind of exploration of when I started writing as an elementary school student. Even then, there was just something powerful about writing it down. So whether it was like my old school crushes or like, I remember I still have them, journals from back then telling, what I did that day, or to in my early 20s when I was struggling with substance use disorder, being able to write that down and like the pain of that and the struggle. And at that time, I didn't have a personal faith, and I've come to that through my recovery, but I was asking for help and pleading and searching and seeking and on the page. And I think there was something about the page that held a lot of that struggle and that trauma and the struggle that I experienced through my addiction. It held that for me. And now through recovery, it's so interesting how, I don't always journal, but I do a lot of writing, how that has shifted for me, but it's still such a huge part of my healing. And I work with a lot of coaches just personally, and I have a writing coach who shared about the importance of writing for the reader. And to me, it's such an interesting connection between recovery, because a lot of what we do, what we're talking about, is giving back and being of service. And on the page in writing, we can do that too. We can meet people where they are. We can tell pieces of our stories, but we can also find ways to bring in someone else's story too. And so for me, that's a huge piece of my soul care. And I, like you, I love watching your stuff on social media because I'm huge into fitness, movement, nutrition. I want to learn more about, all the things, self-care, skincare. I'm a huge, like, if you show me the thing that will make me shine, and I will try it.
I'm going to get the name of that cream from him.
Yes.
We're both going to get it.
We are. Those little like under eye things.
Oh yeah, I do those.
I love those.
I don't know what I'm doing though. I don't really I have a routine, but it's not like a routine. It's just kind of like this organic. Anyway.
Yeah. But like those gentle self-care things. Because I never used to take care of myself.
Yeah, no.
I didn't wash my face. Yeah, there was like no, so to do those gentle things is just, I love that so much. And then, moving from like caring for ourselves to being of service. And I think we all discover, or we can in our recovery, in our own stories, how to do that. And so for me, with this next book that I have, When You Love Someone in Recovery, which I want to share how this beautiful book came to be, I really felt this gap, again, wanting to build things that aren't there, in how do we talk about recovery to our families and people who love us? How do we really explain what this journey is about in a holistic way, leaning on the research and our stories? But, when I first started dating my husband, for example, he had no idea. He's not in recovery. He had no idea what it was. He thought it was just me going to meetings in church basements, and, it was a really secretive thing. And fast forward to becoming a mom and my kids, like, I need to be able to learn, or I need to be able to share with them what it's about.
Sure.
And it's a lot. It's about more than meetings in church basements.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this kind of next step in my soul care.
Journey.
Yeah.
Show your book again. So go get it. This book sold everywhere. We're going to put up Caroline's website and everything too. So it's a lot of work to write a book. I don't know about, mine was about my life. So I started, just remembering a lot of traumatic stuff. So that was hard. I cried a lot, but it just, making the time, being a mom, working, like everything too. And then writing, that was difficult in itself. Everybody's like, you need to write another one, because mine came out 2/22/22. So I don't know if I'm gonna or not, but for right now, I'm just living life. But that is beautiful. And it is like, we don't, especially my daddy, he didn't understand either all the years from overdosing at 17 till I didn't come to McShin for my heroin addiction till I was 26. So all those 9 years, him and my family, they just didn't understand. They just wanted me to stop using. And then I had to educate, about recovery. And then my kids, they've been raised in recovery. So we, so many of our participants, because we have 14 recovery houses, so 152 beds, I think we have now. So our participants, their families just don't get it. They most of them don't understand. So we do a cool family group, on Wednesday nights, and, there's Families Anonymous that comes into this building. So it is really teaching, no matter what it is, parent, loved one, friend, all of it, understanding why we do what we do and why we need to continually work on our soul, because recovery for me isn't just stop using drugs and alcohol. We just went to lunch. There's so much more that happens to you in recovery, because I don't run and go use drugs anymore. I have to feel my feelings and work through it and unpack them in order to be the best version of honesty I can be. So go get the book for sure. I know y'all have an event tonight with Illume Family, so definitely follow them. This will probably come out after the event, so my bad, but you can still follow them. Talk just a little bit before we go about the Women's Recovery Leadership. Yeah. So she is amazing. She's been doing International Women's Day events for 4 or 5 years now. So it was online. I've spoken at a few. We had the first in-person one here at McShin last year. And it's just an awesome event for women, just to connect with amazing speakers. And there's just so many of us women leaders around, that are giving hope. And it's so much more, like I said, to recovery than just not using. If that's your jam, there's different pathways. There's different versions of recovery now. I've been here almost 2 decades. So it's just the recovery movement has changed so much. And it's all beautiful. But talk a little bit about that, because now that's an official nonprofit.
It is. Yeah. I'm so excited. So the Women's Recovery Leadership Foundation, yes, it was almost 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I started making some phone calls. I think you were one of those people, Don Nickel from She Recovers. And I started talking to women in our space in recovery advocacy about this idea of bringing people together on International Women's Day. And it was across the board, everyone's like, why haven't we been doing this? We need to come together. And I'd like to say it was all just because I wanted to be of service, but selfishly, it was 2020 and I needed to hear recovery stories from women. And I needed to hear the bigger, we talk about recovery is not just about sobriety. It's not about stopping something. It's about becoming someone. It's about learning to step into that new person that we're becoming. And so I needed to hear stories from women. And so we started. It was real scrappy. And I think initially the first event was maybe one of the largest ones. There were 700 people that signed up from all over the world. We ended up the next year having some like live translation, and we just tried all of these different things, bringing people together. And every year, I think we learned something new from it. This past year, what I've really moving towards and learning is that we need more human to human connection in person. The virtual event is powerful, but there's something, and it was so special being here last year. I didn't have the capacity to do an in-person event with the book planning and tour and all that this spring, but we're building towards an in-person event next year. And just to be able to connect together, to learn from each other, I hope you're coming.
Yeah.
Mark your calendar.
I'm in. March 8th, International Women's Day.
Yeah, so it's going to be...
Steve, I'll be gone. Please.
It'll be around International Women's Day. But I think, you know, and you and I have talked a lot about this, our own experiences of stepping into these positions of leadership.
Yeah.
It's been such a huge part of our own evolution in our recovery stories. And we've been able to give back because people have given to us and because we've been mentored, we've been encouraged, we've been challenged, we've gone through really hard things, sometimes without support, and it's been really hard. And so, right. And so I really just want to build something that women can own and that women can just run with. One of our programs of this nonprofit is a seed grant. And so I'm so excited about that, but we want to empower women-led recovery initiatives across the United States. We're starting here. And just to be able to do things for anywhere from start a small business to do coaching, to do another type of leadership program. And so we just released our first 3 awards. And so I'm so excited about that. So I'm really hoping that we'll have some more support to do programs like that, our in-person summit. And so I'm going to be working with our team in hopefully building out some really exciting things in 2027.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the team and I'm very honored. I'm on the board with that. So thank you for having me, and some amazing powerhouse women in this field. It's been cool, and the website's gorgeous. We'll put it in the show notes as well. So please join if you're listening out there and you can help with this organization, especially donate funds. That'd be amazing. You know, we're just helping women because I didn't have a lot of that, you know, in my early career. I mean, I started working here at 5 months in recovery and then CEO a few years later, and it's just like built to where it is now, which is just an amazing organization. And then I started my side hustle. So I coach women in general, like not sober coaching, but just women out there in the world. And that's been such a cool experience just to like keep the momentum going on the women movement. So it's not just what I've always done here, which I don't unfortunately get to do all that sober and peer stuff anymore because I'm the CEO. I'm writing grants and doing the CEO life, but being able to just see women build confidence. You know, it took me a lot of hard lessons, a lot of mentoring, a lot of crying, a lot of wanting to give up, like so many things. So almost, 19 years later, like we're able to, in 15, to give back as well. So I'm honored to be a part of that too. Before we go do you want to say anything about recovery.com? I know you're here with them.
Oh, absolutely. So recovery.com. All right. If you don't know, now you know, y'all. Go to recovery.com. But it's an amazing resource that was created as a response. Like, we know there's been a lot of bad actors in the field in terms of treatment, places to refer folks to treatment. And so it was created by folks who wanted to provide an alternative to that. So anybody can advertise on their website. There's over 22,000 folks who are listed as providers. There's a vetting process. There are just standards set in place to make sure that people are able to access treatment that is quality. So there's reviews and things like that for accountability, which is so important. So you can go on the website, you can compare different options. So I love going and I get asked a lot, like, hey, I'm a woman and I need this type of support. You can filter by different groups of people. So women, different conditions. Maybe you want trauma support. Maybe it's a specific substance use disorder. Maybe you don't have insurance. So you can filter by all of these different pieces and then search, for what works for you, and then connect directly with a human being. No robots, no call centers. You get connected directly to their admissions teams. Now, I know it's really hard to keep something like that up to date, that they have a huge research team that's doing that and committed to doing that, because we know sometimes that window when people are reaching out for help is small, and you got to have a phone call that will get you to an actual human being. So I love them. They're amazing. And I'm hoping to help them do more outreach to recovery community organizations like McShin.
Yeah, I think we're on there. I think we should be.
Yeah, if you're not, like, let's
Well, I know
talk
I've done
next year.
videos, and videos are on there of me and speaking or whatever. Well, thank you for promoting them, and check them out too. We'll put those, Steve. You got taking notes over there.
Awesome.
Steve, shout out to Steve. Always like
Thank
he's
you,
our
thank
media
you.
media king up in here. Well, I just want to thank you so much for all that you do and being my friend and mentor and just everything, especially the conversation we just had down at the Beatbox. If you're in Richmond,
It was
go
so
to
good.
the BEET, not EEE, BEET box. Such a cool vibe, great food. And I absolutely love their owner, Ashley. We just spoke on a CEO panel for Women's History Month, conversations with women CEOs. So shout out to them because they have amazing food and just the vibe. I'm telling you, you're going to walk in there. It's a chill vibe. But thank you, and go get the book. And you got the event tonight, but thank you for coming and popping in and hanging out and spreading hope to all those that watch our videos. And I love you so much.
I love you too, Honesty. Thank you so much. And
get the
pick up
book.
a copy of the
Get
book.
the book. Get the book.
Get the
Steve, go order one.
I will. I already did. Just now.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.